Hello, in this video I'm going to give you the crash course in GIMP, and that should hopefully jumpstart you on getting your packaging together for your text adventure. If you're good with Photoshop, that's great. Photoshop is actually kind of a more sophisticated tool than GIMP. GIMP just happens to be free, which is why I know how to use it, and I have it on my laptop. Um, but this is what you're going to have to make. You're going to want a title, something under it for the, a text adventure or an adventure game for the Apple II computer or something, because we're going to export these for Apple IIs. You're going to want a little tag, a little blurb, or something that's going to jump out and grab the attention of somebody looking at this. Like, what genre is it? Something to kind of grab the player, maybe convince them to buy this thing. This area right here is blank because that's where the floppy disk is when the game is in the or when the disk is in the baggie. So this is going to get folded in half and stuffed in a baggie with a disk. Again, on the back I have the title. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. If you can come up with a better thing, that's awesome. I'm not the master of packaging. I put a screenshot in there and I kind of made it see-through, so just to take up some space and make it different from the front. I put in a little blurb about, this is an adventure game, blah blah blah, just for somebody who doesn't know, might not know. And then I just put this in to be funny. It's just very self-deprecating, but you can either just copy this wholesale out of my project, which is on the T drive, if you want to use it, or you can make up your own stuff. So whatever, just use your imagination. There's no really right or wrong way to do this, as long as it's got all the stuff you need. Also make sure that it's got the name of everybody concerned on it. So if somebody contributed to this project, make sure that their name is mentioned on it. You're also going to want an insert, like an inside. So this is the front and the back. What you're going to do is make another one of these with a left side and a right side. That will be the inside, the reverse of this. And what we're going to do is we can print them out double-sided, and then you'll have a front and a back. What goes on the inside? A clue book. So for all the puzzles in your game, you should have a guide on how to solve them, right? And I'll talk more about that later, but you're going to want to use something called Rote 13 encoding. That's just where you shift the letters 13 places, so it's all scrambled. It's like what you see on the back of a box of cereal, like the little games for kids to play, the secret decoder, right? So there you go. Now, how do you get started here? Well, I'm going to open up. If you go to the T drive, you'll see in the text adventure packaging folder, you'll see cover art FB and cover art LR. That's front, back, left, right. You can open up that and save it to your computer. So you should have a blank template right there, front, back. And then what you can do is open up, let's see, so we've got some very important windows here. Your toolbox, that's going to be very important. If you just hover over these things, it will tell you what they do. Layers are going to be extremely important because we're going to be stacking little images on top of other images. And to get to that, you go to Windows, Dockable Dialogues, Layers. There you go. So there's 2 layers already in this project. By the time you're done, you should just be able to, you should not even see them. If you can still see them, just deactivate them. They're just there to help you line stuff up. Now, how do you import layers? Well, let's talk about that. Okay, back to layers. How do you import a layer? You go to the File menu and you say Open as Layers, and what it'll do is it'll bring in whatever image you select as a layer in the current image. Oh, what just happened there? File. So here's an example. File, Open as Layers. ISS interior, right here, some sort of spaceship interior. Thought it might be cool, so let's click open here. Why is it no open? Don't be a jerk. There we go. Okay, so we can reorder our layers by dragging them around, or we're supposed to by we're supposed to be able to do that. I don't know why GIMP is being just a total. Oh, we have little arrows. There we go. Okay, it used to drag and drop. I don't know. GIMP is weird. Photoshop is better if you know how to use it. Now so we can stack layers on top using these arrows. We can move them up and down. We can scale our layers. So that's the scale tool right here. Let me click on that layer, and now you can see I've got these grid lines. Let me maximize this. View. let me zoom out, 50%. There we go. That should make it a little bit easier to see. Now what I can do is if I hold this thing down, I can kind of distort this image, but maybe I don't want to do that. Hit reset. If I hold the control key down though, see it locks the scaling. I can't really mess with it too much. So you just have to kind of play around. Let me try that again. Scale the layer, and then it just takes a lot of kind of fidgeting around with this to get it right. Make it even smaller, and click scale. There you go. And now let me kind of put it back where it is. I mean, it's a little bit big. Okay, so let's say I wanted to crop that. So notice the yellow line right there, that's kind of the boundary between the front and the back. Let's say I wanted to crop this. I can just take a rectangle. I can select just the bit I want to keep and say layer, crop to selection. There we go. So now I've brought in this layer and I've chopped it, right? What else can I do with layers? We'll see that this is the transparency thingy up here. All right, so if I've got some text and or something I want to make see-through, I can just play around with that. Okay, let me show you how to make a background layer. Like you might want a color underneath all of this to anchor it together. That would be layer, new layer. I could pick the foreground or background color here I have selected. Let me just I'll pick the foreground color. Or you might want to pick transparent. I don't know, GIMP is just being such a bastard. Sorry. Come on, GIMP. Unusable. This is unusably bad. There we go. There's guide number 1 right there. Let me say select none. There we go. Get rid of that selection. And now let's say I wanted to pick yellow or something. Now I can oh, it's just awful. There we go. Let's make this yellow. Why can't I click OK? Are you serious? Let's try blue. I have no idea. I should be able to. Oh, hit enter. I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong. Okay. There you go. So now I can bucket fill. Maybe something's wrong with my mouse. Okay, so, and then again, what I can do is I can bump this all the way down to the bottom. So maybe if I'm doing a space thing, I want black all the way at the bottom, right? And I can see that maybe I want to bring that layer down. So if you want to work on a layer, make sure that you have that appropriate layer selected right here. Okay, what else can I do? Let me show you how to add some text. Let's add a new layer. I'm going to add a new layer here, and I'm going to make it transparent. And then what I'm going to do is bump that up to the top. And let me just draw a rectangle here. And pick white. And now I'm going to bucket fill that rectangle with, why did that not work? Bucket fill. There we go. So now there's a window that I can type on. I have a text tool here. I can just pick whatever font I want. Let's see, how do I get to the fonts? Toolbox, tool options, there you go. So the tool options give you more choices for the specific tool you have selected. I can click here and pick the font. Actually, what would be cool is if you made some word art and used that and brought that in. So you can sit here and type. Now I should be able to type on my text layer. Hello. Oh, except that my foreground color is white. So let's fix that. Can I see that? I don't know. Let me make another. This is my game. There we go. So that's how to type text. So I mean that's basically all you need to know how to do. Import layers using file. Open as layers. You might have to scale layers. You can use the scale tool for that. You can have layer transparency to play around with. You know how to crop layers. Just select the layer in the window over here, and then go to layer, crop to selection, and then you can just chop out the little bits you need. and make sure you save it. And then when you're ready to print, you can print it from the print menu, or you could save it out as a PNG file or something like that. So anyway, there's your that's what you're gonna do. So if actually save it out as a PNG file, and you're gonna do that for the front and the back. So you'll have two pieces that you can kind of stitch together. But there you go. That's everything. That's basically all the tricks that I used to make my packaging. You just have to find some art, crop it, and I don't care if it's copyrighted or not. Just whatever works. This isn't an art class. So there you go. Make sure you save your stuff, and you should be good. And if you need any help, by all means, just ask. All right. Thanks for sticking through this video.